talk about lesson 308. This instant is the only time there is. I've conceived of time in such a way that I defeat my aim. If I elect to reach past time to timelessness, I must change my perception of what time is for. Time's purpose cannot be to keep the past and the future one. The only interval in which I can be saved from time is now, for in this instant has forgiveness come to set me free. The birth of Christ is now, without a past or future. He has come to give his present blessing to the world, restoring it to timelessness and love is ever present, here and now. Thanks for this instant, Father. It is now I am redeemed. This instant is the time you have appointed for your Son's release and for salvation of the world in him. Now, like all the lessons in this part 2, it happens in the context of a topic, which is what is the second coming? And that's topic number 9. Christ's second coming, which is sure as God, is merely the correction of mistakes and the return of sanity. It is part of the condition that restores the never lost and reestablishes what is forever and forever true. Okay, the last section, it says, pray that the second coming will be soon, but do not rest with that. It needs your eyes and ears and hands and feet. It needs your voice. And most of all, it needs your willingness. Let us rejoice that we can do God's will, and it goes on in the language of the course. But we're dealing with lesson 308. This instant is the only time there is, and it's in the context of the second coming. So this whole thing on the second coming is talking about time. Every topic in here, there's a piece that Christ bestows on us, lesson 305, the prior lesson 307, conflicting wishes cannot be my will. This lesson 308 on time, living in the now, what is the now? And it goes into this topic that I have conceived of time in such a way that I defeat my aim. If I elect to reach past time to timelessness, I must change my perception of what time is for. And this is the critical piece. Time's purpose cannot be to keep the past and the future one. So you can pick out any object in your field, pick out a lamp or a chair, a person, and you can ask yourself, what am I looking at? And in my mind, I'm looking at, let's say, the lamp. I bought it at some point. I may remember, I may not. It has a past. Maybe it came out of a box, or maybe came out of a wrapper. I remember maybe plugging it in, maybe struggling with the plug. Maybe there was a time I had to change the bulb. Maybe I looked at it at some point and there's a memory anchored there when someone was visiting and they were sitting by the lamp and it threw light on them in a certain way. All this is sort of like the life of the lamp. And in the life of the lamp, I remember, I go into my mind and I remember all the things about the lamp and how it got to be where it is and why it is what it is. And that's my memory. I'm not seeing the lamp. I'm seeing only my memories of the lamp. The lamp itself is only what it is, has a certain sort of a reflection on it. The one I'm looking at is a drafting lamp. It's black. I can see a shadow of a reflection in it of my own. But I look at the lamp as a sort of a means to an end. It never exists as it is. It's always in process. And the Course is asking me to stop that for everything. It's asking me to stop it for everything, for the people in my life, for the rug, for the lamp, the room, for my own body, to stop having it be a means to an end. I know that in the Course itself, it'll probably say in there, the body is a means to an end and all this kind of stuff. I don't really know what it says. But the simple reality is all the things in my world appear as they are. And that's how they always are. The lamp always appears as it is. The rug, the drafting table in front of me, it always appears as it is. It's not really changing. I'm sitting here and the so-called conditions of this table are different than they were a week ago. But it is what it is. And the table as it was back then was this table. And in a persistence, there's a persistence in time to identify this table as the same as that table. And I pull them together. But really the nature of this world, I do that as an illusion. I remember the table back then, a week ago. Maybe there weren't these pens on it. Maybe I had a different piece of paper taped to it. And I say, well, it's the same table, just a different condition. But the reality of it is, I'm living in a continuous state of awareness. And that right now, the awareness is of the open book in front of me, lesson 308, on a table. And it's a drafting table or, drawing table where I've done a lot of work, years and years of work. These seem like memories that are available to me. The thing is, I'm not doing that much work. I'm doing no work on it at all right now. The book is open in front of me. This right here is a steady state appearance with no past and no future. It is what it is right now, as I'm communicating right now. My words are an idea that were fully formed. I struggle to say what they are, to make myself understood. A critical or judgmental mind comes in and says, are you using the right words or saying it the right way? But the desire, the impetus to express was formed, fully formed, at once. And this is that moment. It was last night, quote unquote, last night, but it's a fully formed moment of now. So you can see that there is the hopeless effort of letting this current appearance be a sort of a glue that holds a future image together with a past image. It's hopeless. It's a lost cause. Deep down inside, we're constantly bailing water, and it leads to a sense of hopelessness about the world. It's perceptual. The way perceptions work forces us to live in a sort of a delusion about what can be accomplished in terms of holding the past together with the future in this thing that I'm experiencing right now. And so this thing becomes nothing but crazy glue. My so-called now moment becomes nothing but glue. It has no essence, it has no features, it is nothing in itself. The simple fact is, my mouth moving, the words coming out of my mouth, were born, birthed at a time when lesson 308, this instant is the only time there is. I looked at it and decided to try and understand, to apply myself to this unfolding moment and what the nature of this moment is. And the thing is, the pen that I see sitting on the table, I don't know the condition of the pen. I don't remember. Does it have good ink in it? Does it flow well? I don't remember. But there's the pen. It's tenuous. I can reach over to it, lift it up, touch it, move it, test it. Each of those is held in one moment of me. Talk about solipsism. This is my life. It happened. It's fully formed all at once. And like the words in a sentence, I walked the dog. That it unfolds in time. I walked the dog. It takes time to say that sentence, but it's one sentence. It's fully formed. It isn't even a fact. It's an emotional reality. It's a bonding. It's a sense of communication, of communion, even with the dog, with the walking, with the sidewalk, with the leash, with the neighbor, with the whatever. It's one moment that has no future, no future, no past. Walking the dog as a statement is a symbol of the fact of the leash, the dog, the sidewalk. So this instant is the only time there is. I've conceived of time in such a way that I defeat my aim. If I elect to reach past time to timelessness, I must change my perception of what time is for. Okay, I was born. This life of time, in space, of aging, of growing, of eating, defecating, moving, was conceived at once as a totality. And like a sentence, I walk the dog, takes time to express it. It's one idea, and it's about the dog and about the walking and about the sidewalk. My life seems to take time to unfold, but it's one thing. It's one event. That's what my life is about. And the Course is saying, so you have You have wanted to know what you are. You've wanted to know who you are and why you're here. And you're using time in the wrong way for that. As long as I'm trying to understand how my birth connects up with my death, and me in the middle here struggling with it somehow, I'll never achieve my aim, which was to transcend the illusion of it. I want to walk the dog. I don't want to analyze the sentence into subjects and predicates and verbs and qualifiers. I want the leash. I want the sidewalk. The dog does, wagging his tail or whatever. I want to walk the dog may be symbolic of an event. I live my life, those words, is symbolic of the life itself. And Lesson 308 is coming at me and saying, stop all that. Stop holding the past together with the future and accept it as it is appearing right now. Why? Why? Because it's the second coming of Christ. That's what this whole section is. What is the second coming? It happens now. It happens when I quit stitching the past into the future, using myself as nothing but crazy glue to accomplish. Always reducing myself as a means to an end. That's why when they asked Jesus about why he did the things that he did, he essentially said, before Abraham was, I am. Jesus said, you're trying to tie me into a sequence of time unfolding, of me being born in a certain place and living a certain life. Before any of that, I existed for all time. Well, this mind blower, eventually led to his crucifixion. And we crucify ourselves for thinking that we're more than crazy glue, holding the past together with the future. It's called solipsism, but we're not crazy glue. We're born in the mind of God, loved, cherished, with no past, no future, only to be, and to appreciate the wonder of that. Appreciate the wonder. If I'm walking the dog, there's something there to be accomplished, walking the dog. But there's a wonder there. The dog knows it. Every day, the dog celebrates that walking as though it's the first time it ever happened. You know why? You know the answer. Because it is. The dog doesn't really, in a sense, remember the same way we do. It only knows it wants now. The smells and the sounds and the walk. This instant is the only time there is. Thanks for this instant, Father. It is now I am redeemed. This instant is the time you have appointed for your Son's release and for salvation of the world in him. Amen.